Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to Shamanism, Metaphysics, and Grace. Here we'll be exploring the next 2 weeks astrologically with my favorite astrologer, Jyoti Wind. Welcome, Jyoti.
Thank you, Lauren. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the outdoors, Jyoti, because we can't be doing that much longer. I know you're doing the same thing up in Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to realize that summer is basically over, and that the nights are going to get cooler and the weather's going to change. The season will change.
Right. So speaking of changes, you have a number coming up for us.
Yes, September is busy. I mean, even as we approach September, Mercury just went direct yesterday on August 28th, and it will take a few weeks to redo the things that we've had a chance to look at and think about over the past 3 weeks. So on September 12th, I think it is, Mercury catches up. September 12th, Mercury catches up, and then it will then move into new territory. So the next couple weeks are about redoing, rethinking, and implementing.
Okay.
So I wanted to give a nod to that, but there's several things that are on the table, like right now, and the planet Uranus is turning retrograde on September 1st, and at 9:18 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and so when a planet is stationing, turning retrograde, turning direct, especially an outer planet, they're in the ephemeris, the book of planetary tables. It shows that the planet, it looks like it stands still because it's the same degree and minute for usually sometimes a week ahead of time, and then it turns direct or retrograde, in this case retrograde, and then it's that same degree and minute for another several days to a week afterwards. And so during that whole stationing time, which in this case is the 27th of August to the 7th of September, so right now, this planet Uranus is stationing, getting ready to turn retrograde on Sunday the 1st. And so its influence is much more intensified. So let's say a baby is born during that stationing, it means that the planet Uranian, the Uranian energy, the planet Uranus energy is so infused into that chart that it would take over the chart.
Wow. Wow. Well, talk to us a little bit about Uranian energy. What is Uranian energy?
Well, it's the ruler of Aquarius, and it's the planet of change. It's like a lightning bolt change, all of a sudden out of nowhere, things change or come in or shift, or I'm going to move, or, things like that, or I'm not going on that trip. I changed my mind. I mean, it's that sudden change, or I don't want to do this line of work anymore. I want to try something else. So it can be life changing. It can be simple in the day to day. I want to dress differently. I mean, it depends where in the chart it is,
Mm.
but it brings change, and it brings awakenings, and that lightning bolt, that energy of awakening and change, and things are different now.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, so it gives opportunity for that.
Okay. Do they come as a surprise to the person, or is there just
Usually.
energy to take them? Usually.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, usually it's like, wow, I didn't know I was ready for that. Or wow,
Okay.
that came out of nowhere. What happened there? Or oh, this person just moved into my house and now things are different.
Okay.
Or something happens in a family and it's like, I gotta go. I gotta
And
go away for a month.
and how we respond to that Uranian energy depends on what house it falls in our own personal
Yeah,
life.
and what it hits in the natal chart, you know, if we're looking at this transiting planet Uranus moving through, yes, it depends on what it hits in the chart. So let's say a person has this planet Uranus, um, even not even it's stationing, but the planet Uranus as a transit hits someone's sun. So, you know, my standard statement in that is you're walking down the street minding your own business and you suddenly get hit by a lightning bolt and your life is not the same. And you become the changer in other people's lives. Like the stone in the pond that ripples out, you become that stone in other people's lives.
Hmm.
So it is a changer. It brings different kinds of situations. So when I'm doing an astro update and we're looking at the planet Uranus stationing, I will say during this time period, expect the unexpected.
Mhm.
And this is for everybody because
Sure.
it's, you know, in the heavens. This is not relative to one person's chart.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Thanks for the explanation.
sure, sure. And that same day, Pluto retrogrades back to re-enter Capricorn, where it will be from like the 1st, 2nd of September to the 19th of November. And so Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. We had the recession, that little recession there. And so it entered Aquarius in the spring of 2023, and then retrograded back and forth in and out of Capricorn and Aquarius. And so it's been in Aquarius for the past 6 months, and it's making its last gasp, moving back into the last degree of Capricorn from September to the 3rd week of November, right over the election. Okay, so Capricorn is kind of top down power over, you know, and Pluto going back into Capricorn is having us look at over the past like roughly 16 years what has tried to break down and evolve and transform. And so what are the last few pieces of that process, of that system, that this is a good time to try to transform that. But it's the last gasp of Pluto and Capricorn holding on to the way things have been.
Wow. Wow. So it may feel like kind of some step backwards for folks.
It could feel like that. Oh, I didn't take care of this. You
Mm,
know, in my changing some of my attitudes and beliefs. Oh, there's a little bit, because the last pass is called the refining pass, and it takes you back to just catch up those few things you might not have that you left behind, that you might have forgotten about.
like a final proofread.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
because it's so strong right now in the United States chart, the US is having to look at what's worked and what hasn't worked and what this is the last gasp of.
Yeah, yeah. So personally, though, if we're looking at this and Capricorn is that top-down power, would it be like us looking at how we use our power and or how other powers influence us?
All of it,
Yeah.
all of it. You know, how well we wield our power and how we buy into other powers that
Mhm.
be and
Right.
give it strength for good or ill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you know, we're right on an evolutionary edge here with this Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is not the Aquarian age, thank you very much, but it's Pluto moving into Aquarius, and so we're on this evolutionary edge anyway. And if you talk to anybody on the street, people are feeling it in some way. There's some change they feel pushed to, or some old business that they're having to deal with and let go of because it's not working anymore. And so this is kind of like taking care of the last vestiges before we fully step into this 20-year period of Pluto moving through Aquarius.
Interesting.
And we will not be looking at Pluto in Capricorn in our lifetimes again. It's going to be 248 years or 230 something years before Pluto enters Capricorn again.
Okay.
So in this body, we will not meet this again.
And how long will Pluto be in Aquarius?
20 years.
20 years. That's still a stretch.
It is a stretch, especially for some of us. Will I see that or not? I don't know. Yes. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is the new moon.
Okay.
Which comes on the 2nd at September 2nd at 7:56 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And this is a new moon in Virgo, sun and moon together, new moon, new cycle. It's, you know, there's not a whole lot of aspects to the sun and moon this time. I mean, sometimes, you know, there's an opposition to Pluto or something with the planet Uranus or Neptune, and that's not happening this time. There's actually a grand trine in Earth air with the planet Uranus and Pluto and Venus. And Venus has just moved into Libra. And so, but it's still within orb of creating this sense of flow and this desire for beauty, this desire for peace and diplomacy and beauty. So there's still, it's been going on for probably about, well, at the time of this new moon, it'll have gone on for probably about a week. Okay, but it's still within orb. And so it suggests a flow of looking at personal freedom, personal transformational energies, and wanting to infuse some beauty and ease into the life.
You know, it's interesting, Jyoti, because this Uranus retrograde and then Pluto going back into Capricorn and this new moon are just stacked up, right? Right on top of each other. And so we have this unexpectedness energy. We've got this top-down power energy and then beauty. Like okay, take all that, but there's beauty too.
There's beauty too, and beauty has to be remembered. She has to be at the table, you know. Yeah. So, you know, you've got the meat and potatoes, let's say, even if our diets are different, but as an expression, we've got the meat and potatoes on the table, but there's a birthday cake right over here. You know what I mean? With a cup of tea. And so it's just, how do you include all of it? Because it is all of it. It's not just this or that. It's all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there has to be an unexpected dish on the table if there's Uranus present, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's just, it seems to me an interesting lineup this time around.
It is. And the Venus trine the planet Uranus wants freedom. So in the middle of things feeling a little unexpected and unsettled, and in the middle of Pluto, you know, getting its CEO hat back on, Venus trines the planet Uranus and says, I need freedom here. I need room to move. No matter what's going on, I still need to make my own choices and decisions. I still want room to move so that I have a life. I have choice.
It sounds like it could be a time that provokes some protests and activism too.
Oh, yeah, it's not on the national news these days, but there's protests all over the world. And this is Uranus stationing this whole
Mhm.
past week, and unexpected fires and floods and volcanic murmurings. And I mean, and Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is the earth, unexpected things with the earth. I mean, the unexpected can be on any strata of human experience. So it can be something like, I just lost 20,000 in the market, if you play the market, or it could be, I just got a check for $50,000. Where did that come from? You know what I mean? I mean, it can be in or out, meaning something that comes to you from outside or something that you lose. That can be that too. But it's unexpected opportunities
Mm,
because they're all opportunities ultimately.
yeah,
How do it's not what happens to us, as the expression goes, it's how we respond to it. So how do we respond to all these shifting sands under our feet?
yeah, yeah. And as our mutual friend Christine will remind us, is that it really isn't about reacting, it's responding. And we're so
Yes.
used to react. And
Yes.
our work here really is about responding to what shows up.
And choosing, making choices that we would like to live out or see happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so this new moon in Virgo is about discernment. Virgo is discernment. Virgo can get caught up in judgments and all that kind of thing, but it's really about discernment, picking and choosing what works for you and letting the rest go.
Yeah,
Because half of it isn't your business.
yeah,
Your business is this a good friend? Is this an appropriate place to live? Is this what I really want to do as a line of work? Not what it is in and of itself, but what is its relationship to me?
yeah.
And so this is a new moon, a new cycle of that. And I made some notes when I looked at this new moon chart. And what I wrote was, what are you consciously leaving behind in lieu of what's coming?
Oh, that's beautiful. Can you read that again?
What are you consciously leaving behind in lieu of what's coming? Even if you don't know what's coming, because most of us don't.
Hmm.
And then another piece of this chart with Pallas, the asteroid of intelligence, and the warrior energy in conjuncting Mars exactly, is about courage.
Hmm.
So, how do you bring your courage to maturity? How do you mature your sense of courage? How do you take it and own it? Okay. And then the other piece was, what spiritual beliefs is it time to manifest right now?
Hmm. So not about letting go of old spiritual beliefs, but embracing new.
Yeah, but there's only so much can occupy one space at one time. So sometimes when you're bringing, wanting to do something right now, what you did all kind of falls away anyway. So what spiritual beliefs is it time to manifest right now? I mean, it's an exciting time to be on the planet. I was listening to a video by Dolores Cannon, and she says that this is her way of looking at things, and she says that there's spirit beings that hold us in such high esteem, the spirits as we are that have incarnated on the earth at this time, because they know that life on earth is difficult. There's a lot of resistance just built in to the whole process. And so they applaud us for having the courage to come here and be alive at this time and have an earth life
Hmm.
and go through the earth's evolution with her. and how it affects us and how the planet is going through its own changes.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds very similar to a number of folks I've heard recently that channel different beings. And yeah, that it's
Yeah.
kind of like hats off to you for being here.
Yes. Yes. We volunteered. Maybe some of us were directed and sent, but I think most of us volunteered to come and be of service and go through our own stuff, our own evolution, and to be seed planters for what's coming, and to be of service and helpers in whatever way we can.
Yeah, well, Jyoti, I'm personally glad that I happen to be able to show up at the same time you are here to with your wisdom you share, and I'm sure many of our listeners feel the same way.
Well, I have that too. I have a lot of gratitude for the people who have shown up, at the same time I'm on the planet. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share today?
Oh, I think that's enough.
Feels like a lot, but
It
it's good
does.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Jyoti, once again, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Lauren.